Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. WrestleMania is in less than 2 weeks, but does it really feel like WrestleMania is on the horizon? This week's Raw felt more like a Raw in May or June or any other time of the year. What went wrong this week? I got a lot of questions covering different topics about this week's Raw. So let's get started here today. If you are a fan of the current WWE product and you thought Raw was a good show and you do not want to hear all the negativity, then turn off the video now. For those of you that are on the same boat that this week's Raw was terrible, then enjoy this video. Here we go. First question from Kyle. Is this Mania build-up worse than last year's? We still have 1 week to go. WWE has 1 week to turn things around and really hit a home run with the final Raw before WrestleMania and get fans pumped up for WrestleMania. At this point, it is perhaps just as bad as last year's, if not worse. Last year's Go Home Raw had a terrible angle at the end with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar having a tug of war over the WWE title. So we'll see what happens this week with the WWE title match, and if WWE can do a really strong angle that is better than last year, or if they do an angle that's just as lame. We'll see what happens next week, but up to this point, last year, I would say they're very close to equally bad. Now, regarding this week's Raw, a lot of people have been asking me questions about Raw. Was this the worst Raw of 2016? And I would say yes. In terms of building up WrestleMania and getting fans excited for WrestleMania, I felt this week's show blew chunks. I thought it was just awful writing. There were 2 things on Raw I liked. Literally 2 things. One was the backstage segment with Dean Ambrose and Terry Funk, with Funk giving Ambrose a chainsaw. I thought that was great. I also really enjoyed the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens match, which should have been at WrestleMania. Why are you giving it away on free television? And this was not the first, but the second AJ Styles Kevin Owens match. It was a great match up until the finish, and the finish was just mind-boggling. First of all, WWE just did the same exact angle that they did on SmackDown. Literally the same thing, with Chris Jericho coming out, distracting AJ, and Kevin Owens got the win because of the distraction. Once was fine, but twice, in my opinion, it made AJ Styles' character look stupid. There's a saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. AJ Styles getting fooled a second time by Chris Jericho just made his character look like a complete moron. And then afterwards, AJ is trying to get the fans to chant AJ Styles, and he did a very poor job of it. I mean, he's not The Rock. AJ Styles, he's a great in-ring performer, but on the mic, not so good. And this segment did not do him any favors whatsoever. So that was the beginning of the downfall from Monday Night Raw. Let's move on here. I got questions regarding different segments on Raw. This one comes from Vappa. Do you think WWE is portraying Reigns as a heel? I kind of feel that he is and get the vibe that he is more of a heel than a face. Please answer in video. WWE wants fans to cheer for Roman Reigns. They edited down the boos on SmackDown. They've done everything in their power to get fans to cheer for him. Now, what the hell are they doing with this angle with Triple H? The opening segment on Raw, it was not terrible, but what did it accomplish? You have to ask yourself, what was the goal of this segment? What did it do to advance the storyline? And the answer is, it filled time. That is what it accomplished. And what did it do to advance the storyline? Nothing. Really, if anything, that segment made fans believe that Triple H is tougher than Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns got attacked by Triple H. He was out for 3 weeks. Triple H gets attacked. He's back the next week. He doesn't even miss 1 episode of Raw to sell the injuries. He's back, and he looked no worse for wear when he was backstage picking up Stephanie, and then Roman Reigns attacks him again. On paper, having Roman Reigns just do a minimal amount of talking and have him come out there and beat up somebody, that's ideal for his character. But it didn't work here. The Philadelphia fans booed Reigns. They chanted what? It's not working. And I got this question here from Daniel Jobber. Do you think that by having Roman continue to pretend that fans aren't booing, fans actually hate him more and more? That could very well be the case, and maybe WWE is hoping that eventually fans will just give up and it'll be similar to Cena, where Roman Reigns will get the split reactions, and in some cities he'll get more cheers and he'll sell merchandise, and in the end he'll be successful as the new John Cena. But I think fans are starting to resent this more and more. They already had 10 plus years of Cena, and I think a lot of fans are just seeing right through it, that WWE is just trying to replace one body with another body in the same role. And if WWE had it their way, Roman Reigns will be on top doing the John Cena gimmick for the next 10 years. And I think fans are realizing that now is the time. They really need to make their voices clear that they do not want this. They want something different. So, yeah, I think if WWE doesn't acknowledge this, things are just going to keep getting worse, and maybe WWE will luck out and they'll get through this. But right now it's not looking good. I mean, Roman Reigns is not as strong of a promo as John Cena, and he seems to be getting annoyed a little bit. I mean, he went on Twitter and responded to a fan who was negative, and John Cena didn't even do that. John Cena always kept this cool. And I don't know. It seems like the negative responses are getting to Roman Reigns, not just the character, but the person. So we'll see what happens. Got this one here from John. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on the IC title ladder match? I really feel it's WrestleMania's biggest mistake with us not seeing Sami versus Owens. Terrible booking decision. We all knew that there was going to be a multi-man ladder match, which is not ideal. Everyone made it clear for weeks that it should have been Owens versus Sami Zayn. That match has a built-in storyline, and one-on-one at WrestleMania, that would have been a really strong match. I've seen some arguments that people don't know Sami Zayn that well. A lot of people don't watch NXT, but let's be realistic here. At WrestleMania, most of those fans are going to know who Sami Zayn is, and that match, one-on-one, would have torn the house down. I'm fairly confident of that. And I think it would have won over the fans watching that aren't familiar with Sami Zayn. They would be watching this awesome match with a hot crowd, and it would make Sami Zayn a big star in one night. By doing this IC title match, you're basically just devaluing the title, and you're devaluing the guys that mean something that are in the match. Guys like Ziggler, guys like Sami Zayn. By throwing in 3 random people, and the way they were portrayed on Raw too. You had Kevin Owens come out, and instead of having a triple threat match with the 3 serious contenders, Kevin Owens brings out 3 guys that he considers to be jokes. 3 geeks. And those people were Stardust and Zack Ryder and Sin Cara. And originally Neville was supposed to be in this match, and he was replaced with Zack Ryder. But what about Damien Sandow? If you were going to bring in somebody who wasn't planned, why not Sandow? But that's a whole different story. Basically, 3 guys that were portrayed as geeks by Kevin Owens and basically buried by the writers are now part of the IC title match at WrestleMania. And, I have no idea what that whole match was. It was so lame. A DQ and a triple threat? Since when does that happen? And it just erupts into the predictable brawl. And WWE's mentality is, hey, we're going to announce this as a ladder match, and everyone's supposed to pop. It's like Pavlov's dogs. He rings the bell and dogs bark. WWE announces a ladder match, and the WWE fans start marking out, oh my god, a ladder match! Writing is terrible. Ladder match, just doing a ladder match doesn't do anything for me. WCW had ladder matches. They had 3 count versus the Dragons with a record contract on top of the ladder, hanging over the ladder. And WCW went out of business. A lot of people were comparing this Raw to WCW. And then Seahawk Brohawk asked me about the IC title, And a very long message here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he talked about how it used to be considered the workhorse title, and now it's reduced to a jobber title, basically used to get as many talents on the WrestleMania card as possible. And that's exactly what it is. And he asked, what can WWE do to make the IC title mean something? Not have matches thrown together and hoping something sticks. You're throwing things at the wall and you hope something sticks. You should have had an IC title match with an interesting storyline and a reason to care about the match and care about the title being defended. Owens and Sami Zayn would have been that match. So how do you make the IC title more credible? You put in your future stars in one-on-one matches, competing for this title and competing for that top spot. That's what you do. You don't just throw together a match with 7 guys, 3 of which are rarely on television, and expect people to care about the title. Alright, now we move on to The Undertaker and Shane McMahon. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts now on the Taker and Shane match? I hope Shane wins. Hashtag save the beard. Okay. Going in, I figured they might announce something where Undertaker would have to have his career on the line, and that's what Vince would do to make sure that Undertaker wins. Problem is, this storyline, it doesn't make sense, and it's not clear exactly what the stipulations are. Is Undertaker having his entire career on the line, or just he cannot compete at WrestleMania anymore? It wasn't made clear. Vince just said it's going to be Undertaker's last WrestleMania if he loses. And what about Shane? What is he getting exactly if he wins? Is he getting control of the company or control of Raw? And if he's getting control of the company, couldn't he just overturn Vince's decision and reinstate Undertaker? It's just not clear what the stipulations are, and when it's not clear, it's hard to care about what's going on. It's very frustrating because it's so simple. Make the stipulations clear, but they're not doing that, and it seems like the writers aren't even sure what the stipulations should be or how they want this whole thing to play out. And that is what's frustrating. Once again, it's just stuff thrown together, hoping that people will just say, oh my God, Undertaker, it could be his last WrestleMania. We have to see WrestleMania. And that's what they're banking on. They're banking on the fans to just go with whatever WWE throws at them. And I think it's crap. This one comes from Corey Butt. Who thought it was a good idea to put Strowman in the main event? The same people that thought that this was a great addition of Monday Night Raw, and the writers that thought what they were coming up with was captivating television. I don't get it. Did they not learn their lesson from the previous month when they had Big Show and Braun Strowman in the Raw main event and everybody crapped on it? Why would you do it again? Why would you put Braun Strowman out there on the final segment of Raw? Mind-boggling stuff here. And it was so bad. It was like the icing on the cake of a bad show. You know, the fans were so burned out with this show. WWE effectively killed this crowd with the terrible writing that by the end, you had the fans chanting, "This is boring," during a Dean Ambrose match. Dean Ambrose, the guy who's been getting the biggest reactions on WWE shows over the past few months, and now they're chanting boring during his match. Congratulations, WWE. Great writing there. Yeah, terrible idea. What were they thinking? I don't even know. It makes me want to pull out my beard hair. But then I remember that the beard is part of the whole protest here for me wanting WWE to make some positive change. No win situation here. This one comes from Jamie Lee Mack. Do you feel the Wyatts have any shot at credibility, or are they at point of no return? After the Raw main event, I'm not sure. Once again, the Wyatts are just thrown together, and who knows what the plan even is for the Wyatts. I mean, I am assuming they're going to be thrown in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, or the Dre, as people like to call it for short. But it wasn't made clear what their role is for WrestleMania, and the show is in less than 2 weeks. And who knows what's going to happen now with Luke Harper due to the apparent injury that he suffered in the post-Raw Dark match. But even if Luke Harper wasn't injured, I don't know what's going on with the Wyatt family or what WWE has planned. It seems like they have no direction and they're just guys with a cool entrance, and that's it. And I got this one here from Mark. Hey Aaron, do you believe the rumors that Bray is in for a big push after WrestleMania? Face turn or Money in the Bank winner? Please answer in video. Well, I'm guessing Roman Reigns is going to need some heel opponents after WrestleMania, and Bray Wyatt will probably be that guy that does the house show matches with Roman Reigns and probably a pay-per-view match. And when it doesn't get that good of a reaction, WWE will wonder why. They'll be confused. We love Bray Wyatt. We love Roman Reigns. And WWE will be wondering, these fans love these guys, and why aren't they cheering for them? So, you know, it is what it is. They're going to need a heel, and Bray Wyatt is the closest thing they have to a top heel. And it's sad to say. And I got this one here from Sean T. Flick. Should Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar be revisited for SummerSlam? At heel champ Reigns versus a face Rollins, would that be ideal? Please answer in video. I could see WWE doing Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar after WrestleMania, but again, who really cares at this point? The heat was at the Royal Rumble when the Wyatts cost Brock Lesnar the match. That was the setup for WrestleMania. Revisiting it, all that heat is gone. The momentum is lost, and it really feels pointless at this point. It just feels like they're just having a body to go against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar needs an opponent, so they'll go with Bray Wyatt because he's one of the only heels that they have that has any kind of credibility, and not much at this point. As far as heel champ Reigns versus babyface Rollins at SummerSlam, that would be great. That would be a money match in my opinion, and that's what I think WWE should do. I think they should turn Reigns heel either at WrestleMania or Raw the next night and set up Seth Rollins. You can even have Triple H retain the title, and this is why I said I would shave the beard, because you can have Triple H beat Reigns at WrestleMania, and then you have Seth Rollins as a babyface come back to beat Triple H for the title. Reigns is pissed off because Seth Rollins accomplished what he couldn't, and out of jealousy, jealousy, one of the oldest reasons why people do bad things, Roman Reigns turns heel, and bam, you have Seth Rollins defending or challenging the title. You can go either way. Heel Rollins or heel Reigns versus babyface Rollins at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. Don't think it's going to happen though. Alright, this one comes from Marcus S. So, since the majority of the WrestleMania 32 card has been announced, do you think TakeOver Dallas will overshadow Mania this year? TakeOver will be an amazing show, but at the end of the day, WrestleMania is WWE's Super Bowl. It's such a strong brand name, and at the end of the day, the wrestling matches will be really good at WrestleMania, and I'm fairly confident that WrestleMania will be a really strong show. A very good show, possibly a great show. The wrestling's going to be awesome. Everyone's going to go out there and they're going to have their working shoes on. Everyone's going to go out there with their A games. It's going to be amazing. Almost certain that WrestleMania will exceed expectations. And Raw the next night will probably be a very entertaining show. My prediction is that fans will get a false sense of hope after WrestleMania and the post-WrestleMania Raw that WWE is turning the corner and they're going to move in this new hot direction and the company is going to gain in popularity and Raw is going to be a must-see show again. And then the next week after, it's just going to be back to the normal routine and it's just going to be the usual WWE show with 15-20 minute authority promos and Reigns being the top babyface versus heel Bray Wyatt that nobody cares about. And Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt will be revisited, and it'll just be the usual predictable stuff. That's what I think is going to happen. Unfortunately, I want WWE to shake things up. I want a major angle at WrestleMania that just turns the company around, and on Raw it goes in a whole new direction, and we see something we're totally not expecting. But I'm not counting on it. So that'll wrap it up for this very positive edition of NoDQ&A video. If you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed my ranting and negativity, then give this video a thumbs up on YouTube and spread the word on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and so forth. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding WrestleMania, what's going on with Bray Wyatt's injury, the fan that attacked Braun Strowman. Some interesting stuff. What's funny is the stuff that happened off camera was more interesting than pretty much everything that happened on camera this week. NoDQ.com has got you covered with the latest updates, and I will see you next time for more NoDQ&A video.